I thought I already did this archetype before, but I checked my playlist and it's not there. So, Kashtira, 1/4 of the Vsauce archetypes. I'm going to start with Kashtira Fenrir. It is a level 7 monster. You're going to see that a lot. It's a psychic. You're going to see that a lot. It's an earth. You're not going to see that a lot. It has an effect, especially summon itself from your hand. If you control no monsters, you're going to see that a lot. It has an effect during the main phase. You can add a Kashtira monster from your deck to your hand. You're going to see something similar to that a lot. When this card attacks, or if an opponent activates a monster effect, you're going to see this a lot as well. You can target a face-up monster your opponent controls, banish it face down. You're going to see banishing face down a lot. Alright, and then we have Kashtira Unicorn, which was limited at one point, but in the most recent ban list was brought back to 3. It is a wind. Look at that, Psychic level 7. Oh, look at that, it can special summon from itself from the hand as long as you control no monsters. It has an effect allow you to, during the main phase, you can add a Kashtira spell from your deck to your hand. That sounds very similar. Something else. And if it attacks one opponent activates a monster effect, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and banish one card from it face down. You're just going to look at your opponent's extra deck and get rid of one card you want. Sounds pretty nice. Ogre is a water, which anyways, just from the name of Ogre, it always makes me think more it should be the earth. Oh, look at this. It can special summon itself from your hand. Look at this. During the main phase 1, you can add a Kashtira trap from your hand. Oh, look at this. If it attacks or your opponent activates a monster effect, you can do something, which is activate up to 5 cards from the top of your opponent's deck, banish one of the activated cards face down, and place the rest of them on the top of the deck in the same order. So you get a look at your opponent's top 5 cards, and you get to know what your opponent's next draw is. Pretty nice. Now, Rise Heart, this one is a level 4. Warrior, Fire. Wow, that's nothing like anything we've had before. It has none of the similar effects. If you control a Kashtira monster, you can special summon this from your hand. Also, you can't special monsters for the extra for the rest of the turn, except Xyz monsters. During your main phase, you can normal or special summon this card this turn. You can banish one Kashtira card from your deck, except a copy of itself. Banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck face down, and if you banish any, this card level becomes 7. So its level is 7, but just not always. Mostly what you would do with it is you would summon it to your field while you have another Kashtira in your field, banish a Kashtira from your deck, banish some cards from the top of your opponent's deck. Now you have 2 level 7s and Xyz summon. Just get those monsters laid together. Next we have Tearlament Kashtira, which is a water psychic. It makes sense why it's water. And during your main phase, let me guess, you can special summon as long as you control no monsters. Nope. You can special summon it as long as you banish one Kashtira or Tearlament card from your hand or graveyard. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can send the top 3 cards of either player's deck to the graveyard. You choose. It's not both. And if this card's sent to the graveyard, you can send the top 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard. This is a lot of what Tier wants, sending cards to the graveyard. And sometimes you just have useless Tiers in the graveyard. Get rid of them. I don't need them. Then Scareclaw Kashtira has a very similar effect, where you can summon it by banishing a Kashtira or Scareclaw, your hand or graveyard. You can only use that effect once per turn, blah 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 blah. If this card attacks while in face-up defense, it can use its defense for damage calculation. If a Kashtira Scareclaw monster battles an opponent's monster, that opponent's monster effects are negated until the end of this turn. It doesn't even have to succeed the battle. It just has to battle. I don't know if this is good in Scareclaw. I've never really played around with that deck, but I know it's all about defense position monsters. Let's get into the extra deck. Kashtira, you can figure out how to pronounce that on your own. Takes 2 or more level 7 monsters. During each of your standby phases, you can summon a Kashtira monster from your deck. You can only use that effect once per turn, and each time a card your opponent owns and possesses, so to break down what that means, a card your opponent owns is a card that they actually own. It's not a card that was originally yours. It's a card that's, when the game started, was your opponent's. So they own it. And possesses means it also has to be theirs. It can't be on your side of the field. That would be a card you possess. If that kind of card is banished face down, except under damage step, you can choose one unoccupied main monster zone or spell trap card zone. It can't be used as long as this remains face on the field. If this card on the field would be destroyed by battle card effect, you could discharge one material from this card instead. That's right, the only effect that discharges materials is its protection effect. So you can get rid of all your opponent's zones, except the extra monster zones, which are unusable because, guess what? They have no other zones. You have more monsters. It's pretty nice. Then Kashtira, a Rise Heart. Don't get it confused with Rise Heart. Big difference. Which is banned in the TCG. It was limited at one point, but then got banned. It takes 3 level 7 monsters. But you can also XC summon it by using one Kashtira monster you control. If Kashtira's, the previous monster we had, was successfully activated its effect this turn. It doesn't say which effect, so it can either be blank on its own or use its effect to get a monster from your deck. It can also technically be the protection effect. It makes it so if any cards that would be sent in the graveyard is banished. It's a macrocosmos on legs on a 3,000 body? Yeah, 3,000 body. It also, you can detach one material from this card. Once per chain, you can just, each time a card is banished, you can attach it to this card once per turn. As a quick effect, you can dispatch 3 materials from this card. Yikes! And target one set card on the field, banish it. So the whole idea is, you just every time a card is banned, mandatory effect, take a card that is banished. And cards can be banished a lot. It doesn't have to be the card that was just banished. It could be something that wasn't just banished. Just start taking everything onto this card. And if it's underneath this card, your opponent can't really use it. And you can even put your own cards. That I would say there was a Link monster that let you protect your machine monsters. Because, yep, not a psychic, it's a machine. Well, time to go into our spells. You know what? You just figure out how to pronounce that. You can target a Kashtira monster you control, special summon one Kashtira monster with a different attribute. That's why all our monsters have different attributes from your deck in defense position. Also, for the rest of the turn, after this card resolves, you can't special monsters from the extra deck except Xyz monsters. If this card is banished, you can target one of your banished Kashtira cards, except copy itself, added to your hand. So, cycles and adds more cards to your field. Amazing. And if you have a Rise Heart on the field, it banishes itself. Nice. Kashtira Overleap? Yeah, sure. Let's say it's pronounced like that. You can summon a Vsauce clone. That's just so wrong. But you target one monster in the field, banish a Vsauce clone from your hand or graveyard, or face up field, and if you do, target gains the target monster we targeted for this effect gains 1,500 attack. If this card is banished and you control a Kashtira monster, you can target one effect monster you controls to get its effects till the end of this turn. Sorry about that. Kashtira, blah 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 blah. Again, most of the card names you don't really need to know what they are. This one, if a face-up Kashtira Xyz monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, banish one Vsauce Starfrost from your hand, your deck, or your monster zone. So anywhere except your graveyard. Got it. And if you do special summon a Vsauce Astrolaud, it's a fusion monster. Not important. You can go look it up if you want to. Ignoring its summoning conditions. If this card is banished, you can target one of your banished Vsauce Starfrosts, add to your hand. Just to get yourself an Astrolaud, put a bunch of bricks. I never really liked it. It could be good. I never liked it. Now, a card I did like was Birth. You can normal summon level 7 monsters without attributing. Cool. During your main phase, you can special summon one of your non-Xyz Kashtira monsters that is banished or in your graveyard. Cool. So we get revival. If an opponent activates a spell or card or effect while you control a Kashtira monster, you can target 3 cards in your opponent's graveyard, banish them face down. Cool. So we got banishment. If our opponent does anything with spells, we can summon our monsters, and we have more summoning monsters. Let's get into the traps. Big Bang. You know, like the Big Bang. If a Kashtira Xyz monster on your side of the field, and a player controls 2 or more monsters, they must banish monsters they control face down, so they control 1 monster. It's like a... what's that card? Evenly matched, but worse. You can if this card is banished, you can target 1 Kashtira Xyz monster you control. Add 1 of your Kashtira monsters from your hand and attach it. Add 1 of your Kashtira monsters attached to it to your hand, then special summon. Then you can special summon that monster from your hand. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. And finally, Kashtira blah blah blah. Again, you can read the name. During either player's turn, you can special summon 1 card from one Kashtira monster that is banished on your hand. If your opponent activates a trap card or effect while you control a Kashtira monster, and this card is already faced up in the spell trap card zone, you can look at your opponent's hand, and if you do, banish 1 card from it face down. So you get a hand disruption. It's not as good as Birth, but yeah, it's amazing either way. The deck is all about it's a control deck, I would say. It's all about making sure your opponent doesn't have resources to play with, and not by negating, just by getting rid of them forever. And a Rise Heart, if it was still around, could even take those resources and just add it to itself. Well, that's all for this video. Make sure you top deck that subscribe button. You're only missing 1 piece of Exodia. You could get it right now. No, that wasn't Exodia. That was Dino Wrestle Pankratops. Close. Okay, not really. Good luck next time.